Outside Oak Bridge Station, a little group of people stood in momentary uncertainty. Behind them stood porters with suitcases, one of these called Jim. The driver of one of the taxis stepped forward. "UM for Soldier Island, maybe?" he asked in a soft Devon voice. Four voices gave assent, and then immediately afterwards gave quick, surreptitious glances at each other. The driver said, addressing his remarks to Mr. Justice Wargrave as the senior member of the party, "There are two taxis here, sir. One of them must wait till the slow train from Exeter gets in. A matter of 5 minutes. There is one gentleman coming by that. Perhaps one of you wouldn't mind waiting. You'd be more comfortable that way." Vera Clathorne, her own secretarial position clear in her mind, spoke at once. "I'll wait," she said, "if you'll go on." She looked at the other three. Her glance and voice had that slight suggestion of command in it that comes from having occupied a position of authority. She might have been directing which tennis sets the girls were to play in. Miss Brent said stiffly, "Thank you," bent her head, and entered one of the taxis, the door of which the driver was holding open. Mr. Justice Wargrave followed her. Captain Lombard said, "I'll wait with Miss Clathorne," said Vera. "My name is Lombard, Philip Lombard." The porters were piling luggage on the taxi. Inside, Mr. Justice Wargrave said with due legal caution, "Beautiful weather we are having." Miss Brent said, "Yes, indeed." A very distinguished old gentleman, she thought to herself. Quite unlike the usual type of man in seaside guest houses. Evidently, Mrs. or Miss Oliver had good connections. Mr. Justice Wargrave inquired, "Do you know this part of the world well?" "I have been to Cornwall and to Torquay, but this is my first visit to this part of Devon," the judge said. "I also am unacquainted with this part of the world." The taxi drove off. The driver of the second taxi said, "Like to sit inside while you're waiting?" Vera said decisively, "Not at all." Captain Lombard smiled. He said, "That sunny wall looks more attractive, unless you'd rather go inside the station." "No, indeed. It's so delightful to get out of that stuffy train," he answered. "Yes, traveling by train is rather tiring in this weather," Vera said conventionally. "I do hope it lasts. The weather, I mean. Our English summers are so treacherous." With a slight lack of originality, Lombard asked, "Do you know this part of the world well?" "No, I have never been here before," she added quickly, conscientiously, determined to make her position clear at once. "I haven't even seen my employer yet." "Your employer?" "Yes, I'm Mrs. Owen's secretary." "Oh, I see." Just imperceptibly, his manner changed. It was slightly more assured, easier in tone. He said, "Isn't that rather unusual?" Vera laughed. "Oh no, I don't think so. Her own secretary was suddenly taken ill, and she wired to an agency for a substitute, and they sent me." "So that was it. And suppose you don't like the post when you've got there?" Vera laughed again. "Oh, it's only temporary. A holiday post. I have got a permanent job at a girls' school. As a matter of fact, I am frightfully thrilled at the prospect of seeing Soldier Island. There's been such a lot about it in papers. It is really very fascinating." Lombard said, "I don't know. I haven't seen it." "Oh, really? The Owens are frightfully keen on it, I suppose. What are they like? Do tell me." Lombard thought. Awkward. This. "Am I supposed to have met them or not?" he said quickly. "There's a wasp crawling up your arm. No, keep quite still." He made a convincing pounce. "There, it's gone." "Oh, thank you. There are a lot of wasps about this summer." "Yes, I suppose it's the heat. Who are we waiting for, do you know?" "I haven't the least idea." The loud, drawn-out scream of an approaching train was heard. Lombard said, "That will be the train now." It was a tall, soldiery old man who appeared at the exit from the platform. His grey hair was clipped close, and he had a neatly trimmed white moustache. His porter, staggering Slightly under the weight of the soldier leather suitcase indicated Vera and Lombard. Vera came forward. In a competent manner, she said, "I am Mrs. Owen's secretary. There is a car here waiting." She added, "This is Mr. Lombard." The faded blue eyes, shrewd in spite of their age, sized up Lombard. For a moment a judgment showed in them. Had there been any one to read it? Good-looking fellow, something just a little wrong about him. The three of them got into the waiting taxi. They drove through the sleepy secrets of Little Oak Bridge and continued about a mile on the main Plymouth road. Then they plunged into the maze of cross-country lanes, steep, green, and narrow. General MacArthur said, "Don't know this part of Devon at all. My little place is in East Devon, just on the border line of Dorset." Vera said, "It really is lovely here. The hills and the red earth, everything is so green and luscious looking." Philip Lombard said critically, "It's a bit shut in. I like open country myself, where you can see what's coming." General MacArthur said to him, "You've seen a bit of war, I fancy." Lombard shrugged his shoulders despairingly. "I have knocked about here and there, sir." He thought to himself, "He'll ask me now if I was old enough to be in the war. These old boys always do." But General MacArthur did not mention the war.